need the two of you to zip it.
Yes, Your Honor.
You both understand what I mean?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, when you decide who you want to spend your life with, this shouldn't be the be-all and end-all of it, okay? Because you spent 3 years with the guy. If you spent 3 years with the guy, did he ever cheat on you, fool you, lie to you, anything? No. If this is what you consider a lie just because the topic doesn't come up and you're putting tremendous diamonds, of course, I want a big fat rock. And then he goes out and buys a big fat rock that's a lab-created diamond in his pea brain. He thinks that that's fine for you. But you don't think he's the right guy. There's no other explanation, or you're an idiot.
Yeah, I'm suing her today for the amount of $1,375 because after I proposed to her, she broke up with me after finding out that this was a lab-grown diamond.
Okay, let's back up. So you bought her an engagement ring and she wasn't part of the purchase?
No, so the conversation initially started 2+ years into our relationship. I had posed the question. I had asked her, what kind of ring she wanted. And I actually have those texts here, Your Honor.
And what did she say?
OMG, diamonds, of course. I want a big fat rock in all capitals.
Let me see the
Thank you. And I, being who I am, obliged. That's what I wanted to provide for her, so.
How's this conversation coming up in text? Am I the only one who thinks this is weird? Honey, what kind of rings do you like? Oh my God, diamonds, of course. I want a big fat rock. I want to get you the most beautiful ring. Don't worry, the proposal will be a surprise. Really? I can't wait to be your wife. Okay, well, works for you guys. Okay, it's fine.
We talked more in person, Your Honor.
Okay.
That was sort of the initial start of the conversation.
All right, so she wants a big fat rock that's a diamond, and then what happens? You go out and you purchase?
I did a lot of research. I didn't really know which direction to go in at first, and the first thing that I found out is that rings are extremely expensive.
Yeah, diamonds? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The particular ring that I purchased for Miriam was quoted at $80,000.
$80,000, but it's a lab-created diamond, correct?
Correct.
Let me see the diamond. My understanding is that a lot of people are doing that these days. Either because it's kind of interesting because what's happened in the industry is that since so many young people are getting smart and doing that, I mean, I call it smart, you call it offensive. I get that, and this is your life, so I'm not judging you. And I say that because I'm wearing a real diamond, but since people are getting smart, the price of diamonds has come down. And so now it's going back and forth on which ones become more popular. Hold on one second.
The thing is that all this conversation about how much should the proposal ring be, and people say 3 months salary. That's crazy because I don't understand how somebody will want to spend their 3 months salary on a ring. I mean, if you can easily afford it without having any issues, like, oh, that's fine, go for it. But do you know what it means to cough out 3 months of your salary as a middle earner, like the middle class earner in our society today? Like, imagine that you're earning maybe say $5,000 a month. That's $15,000 for a ring. Something that you can actually save up to actually add to whatever you have with down payments in your house. Something that you can even save up to enjoy and start your family up. Now you want to go into debt because where do you want to get $80,000 for a ring? Where would he get that money? I'm sure this guy is not even up to 24 or 25. Yeah. Where does he get that kind of money to buy that amount of ring in this age and time? It doesn't make any sense. See, if you really want to have a good marriage, if you really have intention of enjoying your marriage, your focus should not be on the material things of the marriage, but the person that you want to do marriage with. And when both of you have a good understanding, you get to enjoy yourself better. These things are always easy.
Your Honor, I didn't even know that lab-created diamonds existed until after the proposal. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I feel, Bodhi, you're making it a lot about the ring
Don't
itself.
talk to him directly. Talk to me.
Sorry, Your Honor.
The time to talk to him directly has passed.
Sorry, Your Honor.
I would assume something like this could be worked out.
Mm-hmm.
When you find somebody you want to spend the rest of your life with, I don't imagine that you're going to dump them because it's not an expensive enough ring.
Correct, Your Honor. And it was never about the price. It's about how I felt, and I felt super betrayed when he basically omitted the fact that it was a lab-created diamond. I felt like he was trying to hide something, and to me, it was almost like I didn't feel, when I found out that it was a false diamond, I felt that he didn't think that I deserved a real ring. Like, he didn't think that I was good enough for...
What you talking about? What do you mean by he felt like you didn't deserve a real diamond? Like, he said it cost $80,000. Where would he get that kind of money from? Where would a young guy of this age get that kind of money from? Tell me. He's not making any single sense because you can't tell me that at that very young age, you expect that guy to cough out $80,000, even if it's 20, even if it is 15. Where do you expect him to get that kind of money because you're what's a real diamond? What people place their values on in this time and age is surprising me a lot.
$5,000 on this ring. If she wants a big fat rock, I'm gonna give her a big fat rock.
No.
Okay.
He spent $5,000 on that ring. That's what he just said. He spent $5,000 on that ring.
You're being cheap.
So then so then you decided that you wanted an engagement party, correct?
Correct. Yeah. It's
He did
always
not want an
been-
engagement party.
Initially, he did not know. So it's always been a dream of mine to have an engagement party where all our friends and family and people we're close with could come and essentially celebrate. And so
But it wasn't
originally,
Wait a second. Do not talk to each other. Look at me and talk to me. I'm talking to her right now. Go
I
ahead.
apologize.
sorry, Your Honor. So originally, I had mentioned to him, hey, can we have this engagement party? And I actually have the text messages where he initially said no, he didn't want to. I was 100% open to splitting the cost. I wasn't asking.
Wait a minute. That's big of you. I don't understand. He doesn't want it. I thought you were going to say I was 100% open to paying for all of it. When you're at the engagement party, what happens?
So at the beginning of the party, it was great. Friends and family were there. Everyone was happy.
Before we get to what happened in a engagement party, seriously, it doesn't make any sense. This is the mistake I see a lot of people go into dating a relationship with, because they already have this dream, they already imagined this life, they already imagined every scenario, and they didn't even put into consideration what the person they want to do life with wants, or what the person is okay with. It's all about me, me, me. Oh, I want it this way, I want it that way. I thought about this, I've dreamt about this. It's just about you. You don't even care about what this other person wants. You don't even care about their financial strength to afford what you want. You just have that thing you have thought about in your head, and you feel like anybody that comes into your life should just meet that thing. It doesn't work that way. You cannot build a healthy marriage that way. You cannot build a healthy relationship that way. What you have to do as a person is, yes, it's okay to have your dream, but in that your dream that you have, all that things that you want, make sure those are the things that you know you can afford to do for yourself. Seriously, if you want a destination wedding, if you want anything that you know that is going to cost a whole lot of money that an average person cannot afford, make sure you're saving up for it to make sure you afford it for yourself. So, because that's what the judge basically said, well, if you said you want an engagement ring and this man has optioned out of doing an engagement party, well, you should be covering all the costs because he doesn't want to do it. And I believe that this guy doesn't want to do it because he doesn't have the money to finance it. He doesn't have the money to take care of that situation because he already spent $5,000 on a wedding, on an engagement ring. Now he's probably he didn't even get that engagement ring cash, probably financed or something. I don't know. I'm just making guesses here, but if he's optioning out of that, probably because he cannot afford it. Now you want to divide it. I get compromise, but then you also have to be considerate. Look at your partner, understand their financial strength, their financial situation, understand what they're okay with, not just about you. So when both of you come together, you can find a way to meet each other halfway. I'm not saying that their own, whatever they are thinking or whatever they want should be what goes all the time, but you should be able to come to a place where you meet yourself at the middle ground. There are some things that you have to let go, even if you have dreamt about it your whole life, and you know that your partner cannot afford this, or they cannot do this, or they're not okay with this. You should be able to let go of those things. You should be a flexible person in general. That's what I'm saying. You should be a flexible person in general, because if you go in with the mindset, oh, all I want is what I want, you will not succeed in marriage.
Having a good time. But then about halfway through, I started chatting with my cousin Gina, who I've been super close with. She mentioned to me, she was like, hey.
Gina is
Just a moment, honey. Go ahead.
She was like, hey, the ring is gorgeous. And by the way, I was obsessed with the ring. I loved it. I thought it was beautiful. I mean, I love showing it off, but
She was obsessed with the ring. That's the thing about life. That's the thing about human being. Like, when you had no idea that wasn't a real diamond, you were so happy. You were so good. You felt like you adored these things. Well, you didn't know, but you appreciated it when you didn't know. And now you got to know, and it becomes a problem. That means, I don't know if it's the diamond. I just feel like it's a thing of greed.
she said it was beautiful, but she's like, hey, I know how much Bodhi makes a year, roughly. Like, how is he affording a ring that is that size and that big? And honestly, I never really thought about it, which maybe sounds naive of me.
This is crazy. This is crazy, because when you think about it, if your friend is the one noticing all this and you can't even notice even an atom of this, it shows how inconsiderate you are as a person. It shows how not in touch with reality you are in. Because if he got you that big of a diamond and you are excited about how big this is, how huge this is, oh, this is probably expensive and all that, you didn't even consider his finances. And you didn't even care if this guy actually borrowed money, 80,000 or how much ever he borrowed to get this ring, what it will cost you financially in the future. You didn't even care about that. You are just so excited. You see what I said? Some people are so selfish, they are so into themselves that they are not able to look clearly to see if they are even getting into trouble or not. As long as they are satisfied at the moment, it's about instant gratification, not about the future. Because you can't tell me that you're dating somebody and you know his financial strength and he bought you that kind of ring and you're not questioning it. Seriously.
Me?
Quite.
Sure, but I trusted that I never doubted that it would be a fake diamond. Again, I didn't
You
even
mean
know.
lab created. When you say fake, you mean lab created, right?
Lab created, which in my mind, I see them as kind of the same.
So your cousin Gina said that has to be lab created. That's not a genuine diamond.
Correct.
And you said, don't be silly.
Yes, but I did have this kind of this pit in my stomach, where I was like, I don't know. Now that you mention it, I'm like, it is kind of strange because it is a big ring. It's a huge ring.
And that
right?
never occurred to you beforehand?
No, I honestly didn't think about it. I trusted him.
So in
I
your
was
mind,
madly-
wait a second. So in your mind, you have a rock the size of Gibraltar on your finger, with a guy who you know how much he makes, and it never occurs to you to wonder how he afforded it. If he's putting you in hock for the rest of your lives over it, if he has loan sharks, nothing occurs to you because you don't have to think about things because you're pretty. And Gina's not that nice, okay? Because Gina shouldn't be bringing this garbage up at your engagement party.
And I tried talking to her about it, and she didn't want to talk at the time.
I didn't feel like it was the right time, Your Honor. So I decided to wait. We did go home that evening, and I still was pretty upset, and I didn't want to talk about it. But honestly, I still wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt that it was real. Don't laugh.
Don't talk to each other, please. Go
Sorry,
on.
Your Honor. So I took it the next day. I didn't tell him I was going to take it. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Benefit of the doubt? That's just you going behind his back and checking it out. Why don't you want to give him the benefit of the doubt? Ask him.
Well, I was right,
Why don't you just
right?
ask him, take it somewhere, and they tell you, no, this is lab created. And then what?
Correct. And I'm crushed. Honestly, like, I'm hurt. Like, yeah, sure, I'm mad, but I'm mad because I'm devastated. I really didn't think that the man that I knew I was going to marry before, the man that I'd spent 3 years of my life with, didn't see me as a valuable enough fiance or
Either that or
girlfriend.
that you put a tremendous amount of pressure on someone whose income you know. I want a huge rock, like you're marrying a Rockefeller. Like, maybe you shouldn't have said that.
But we could have talked about
You could have talked about it, but instead you dumped him, right?
It's weird. It's crazy. He said the man I knew I want to marry, not even the man I love, not the man. That's the thing about this whole thing, because when people start putting importance to things that are not important, you get to see how selfish people are. Because you can't tell me you spent 3 years of your life in a relationship with this guy, you love this guy, this is your dream guy, this is a man you want to spend the rest of your life with, and an engagement ring is where you draw the line. Like, it doesn't make any sense, because if you genuinely love somebody, if you genuinely care about somebody, if somebody makes you happy, if somebody's not cheating, they're not deceiving you, they're not doing all this whole toxic thing people tolerate outside here, and just because they got you a lab-grown diamond ring, you dump them, it shows that you don't actually love that person. You don't know what love means. You don't have an idea of what it means to actually like somebody and want to spend the rest of your life with somebody. That's why all this whole conversation, it must be an expensive wedding, it must be an expensive date, it must be that, it must be that. You hardly see two people who genuinely like each other, who genuinely want to be around each other at all time, have this kind of conflict. You will hardly see it, because what matters to them is being with each other, the presence of each other in their life, and every other thing coming around them is just an addition. Every other thing they get to experience is just an addition. You will never see anybody who genuinely cares about their partner fight over the amount of an engagement ring. Quote me anywhere.
Sure, but he wasn't going to give. He wasn't interested in doing a blood diamond anyway.
In other words, when you decide who you want to spend your life with, this shouldn't be the be-all and end-all of it, okay? Because you spent 3 years with the guy. If you spent 3 years with the guy, did he ever cheat on you, fool you, lie to you, anything? No. If this is what you consider a lie just because the topic doesn't come up and you're putting tremendous diamonds, of course, I want a big fat rock. And then he goes out and buys a big fat rock that's a lab-created diamond. In his pea brain, he thinks that that's fine. He doesn't realize how upset you're going to be, because apparently he doesn't know you very well either. I need the two of you to zip it.
Yes, Your Honor.
You both understand what I mean?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, the next person who talks gets thrown out. You want that to be your end? No. So stop talking. If at the time that you spent the money, it was not a loan, it doesn't magically become a loan now. If at the time that you spent the money, you spent it willingly, it doesn't magically become a debt that she owes you now. I realize what your argument is. Yeah, but then she dumped me. So what? That's life. We don't turn around and change the terms of your agreement on the engagement party because you're disappointed. Verdict for the defendant.
I understand the judge ruling, but if it was me, I'll probably still rule, probably maybe not refund, but maybe the guy gets back the engagement ring, maybe he sells it and maybe recovers some money. But it's just crazy what we are experiencing in our generation today. We have a lot of people who don't know what it means to be in a healthy relationship. They don't know what it means to be with somebody. They don't understand the sacrifice, what love genuinely means for you to be with somebody. It's just about the material thing that they stand to gain from that relationship. And it's a sad reality. Look at two young people who are supposed to be planning life together, looking for how to better each other's lives, serve each other. They're here fighting over a ring. And it's because of what this social media, third-party information. The friend came in and said, oh, look at this. This doesn't look big. This doesn't. Third party. You should be very, very careful how much you allow third parties into your relationship, because they are the ones that will keep pointing out things that are irrelevant and putting peer pressure and stuff like that on you until you mess up your relationship, until you mess up this thing that you actually want. Because you cannot tell me that you spent 3 years with a guy and you spend this amount of time and it's just the ring that cuts it for you. It doesn't make any sense. I'm in one way glad that this probably happened, because you don't get to be with this kind of person. Because when you think about it, these are the kind of people that if you get married to them and you financially go down someday in your life, they will use it against you because they don't actually like you. See, I'll tell you this from a relationship coach standpoint. make sure that you're getting involved with somebody who likes you, like somebody who likes you to the point where if they remove everything, like if you don't get to have a kid, if you don't have financial wealth, like if you're not wealthy but you have the basics, if you can't take them on that trip or all those things, but they genuinely like being in your presence, they will go on that walk with you, they don't mind staying in with you, they don't mind going on that cheap date with you, if that's what you can afford. Make sure that's the kind of person that you want to be with. Somebody who enjoys your presence, somebody who enjoys things because you were there, not somebody who enjoys you because you took them there. I don't know if that makes sense, because those are two different things. There are people who enjoy experiences, but they don't even like the fact that you're there with them. As long as you're providing the experiences, they're all good. But there are some people who don't want to experience some things if you're not there, because it makes more sense. It makes them more fulfilled. Like there's a joy that comes with doing it with somebody. And I know this conversation is just about ring, but the truth is, like I said earlier, this whole 3-month salary thing, this whole diamond thing, people are no longer being original when it comes to dating. It's all about what every other person has said is the standard, and you want to do it in your own relationship, and you're messing up things for yourself, and you don't even know you're messing up things for yourself. It's high time we take a break. Ask yourself, do I want to be with this person? Do I really love this person? Do I want to spend the rest of my life with this person? If he doesn't get the expensive things, if he can afford the average things, if we can put our finances together and we have a decent and good life, is it worth it? Is this the kind of person I want to be with? And if yes, go for the person. And if you're a man out there and you have to deal with this kind of thing, I would advise you to take a break. Find somebody who genuinely like you and be with that person. If you enjoyed this video, I want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel and also hit the notification button so that you'll be notified the next time I upload a new video. My name is Prophet Ene. I'm a premarital and early marriage coach. I basically help people who are advancing in their relationship and already in marriage, like the first 1 to 5 years, to actually navigate, because I know that this is the most difficult time when it comes to dating and marriage, so that I can help you better your relationship and better your marriage. If you enjoyed this video, remember, follow for more. See you in the next video.